And we're live, right?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. We are on, and who knows? Perhaps we'll even know what the hell we're doing, just for the sheer novelty factor.
Oh, good.
We have Nomad, we have Batman, and you're unlucky enough to have me. So, Nomad, you have
Well,
news.
yes, what's happening in the world, Slow Dad? I mean, Nomad.
Well, look, today's a nice eclectic view of things with a couple of Babylon bees thrown in for the hell of it. If you really want to get rid of Trump, this isn't the way to do it. Merry politicized Christmas from Matt Labosh. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he's upset. Whenever I'm feeling cheerless and alone in the world, I always look forward to 10 or 12 emails I receive per day from the Trump administration to keep me company. It's like a message in a bottle, a letter from another time. But it hasn't been the Trump administration since January, you say. Shh, please don't tell Mr. Trump that. He still thinks he's president. Dude, he is living rent free in your head.
In your head.
This guy,
This is true.
this is the problem with them. Oh, so they came up with a Christmas ornament, right? Somebody created a Christmas ornament that says Trump save America, right? And this guy freaks out. Have you now? What this story did do is like I didn't know there was anything like this, but the fact that it's pissing off the left makes me want to send this to my lefty liberal son. Okay, just letting you know.
You've got a lefty liberal son.
He got into that whole Hollywood kind of mentality. He wanted to be an actor,
Oh,
and he
God.
could.
So,
There's a whole story
you
involved
have
in this. Like,
no, Snow Dad, with you, with you having a lefty liberal son, I bet when every time you go to bed, you yell at your testicles for half an hour, don't you?
It does make conversation in the bedroom a little bit different because I blame my wife.
And she probably blames you.
Yeah.
that's typical. See, but blaming
Hey, it could have been
a man
worse.
blaming a woman for anything is nothing like a woman blaming a man for everything.
Yeah, it could have been worse, you know.
Oh,
I mean,
Ow.
yeah, it could have been a trans lesbian as well.
don't don't make suggestions, dude. Don't make suggestions. But no, this ornament it makes me want to send this. Buy like 10 of them and send them out to people.
Uh-huh.
Right? You know.
Oh, before you continue, I must ask a question.
Go on.
Have either of you tweeted out the stream?
Yes.
So have I.
I have
Good.
not tweeted out the stream, and because I have not gone back to Twitter.
I don't blame you. I utterly support you not going onto Twitter.
And so, yeah.
I'm fine with this.
I like the way he
Yeah.
puts that out. I'm fine with this.
You're only saying
yeah.
that, Batman, so because you can actually hear yourself on Twitter now. That's all. Am I wrong?
Well, Twitter's got
What is
an
it?
audio
Silence
feature now.
as an agreement. It does when you're on Twitter. We could hear you yelling as you typed.
That's probably true. This might be one of the reasons why it's a good thing that I'm off Twitter. Don't you think?
Probably, yes, sir. Yes.
But no, I have not gone back to Twitter. Now, this is going to be a non sequitur, but it's something I wanted to talk about. There is a. Well, you know what? I'll wait. I'll wait and talk about.
I think you should wait.
We'll talk. We'll talk about it when we get to a different story. All right.
Yeah. Besides, by then there might be more than just me watching the stream. According to Google, according to YouTube, there is only one person watching the stream.
Yep.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That's me.
That's you. You're watching the stream.
Well, I'm watching it as well.
It should say 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you're saying it should be added. That's what you're saying, right?
There should be more people.
In fairness, we've come on a dumbass time, so most of the Americans are barely waking up. They're literally going to be waking up
Come
to the
on, most of the
shocking
Americans are
surprise.
barely awake. They're Americans.
And is that an issue?
Most of them are still asleep at the moment.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it is.
I was going. Your instincts were correct. They're no Brad.
It's right now
I
here
was
is.
going to be insulting, but I changed my mind.
Yeah, sure you did.
Yes, I did.
It is 5:30 here, right? So which means on the west coast it's 4:30, and on the east coast it's 7:30. So
We don't care about the West Coast.
It's true, we don't.
I know you don't. I know you don't. But anyway, let's get to this story.
And
here.
again, we don't care about the East Coast either. We're English. We don't care about the bit in between neither.
Yeah, and we're Americans, and we don't care about the Brits either.
We're fine with it.
Excuse me, I've made a mistake here. We got to take care of this. There we go. Yeah, much better. Much better. But Jenson has to be on top. Anyway.
I'm saying nothing.
It's madness here! Yay!
Anyway. Juicy! Yes, we got stories of Juicy. Juicy was very upset because he was found guilty, alright, in 5 of 6 felony counts. Juicy has yet to be sentenced for being found guilty for faking a hate crime attack on himself 3 years ago. But the Empire actor isn't over fighting the case. The verdict is inconsistent, said defense lawyer Neye Uchi. I'm not trying to.
No, the verdict is not inconsistent because there was incontrovertible proof that he faked everything.
All right. Said in the evening lobby of the Laketon Criminal Courthouse after the jury found Juicy guilty of 5 of 6 felony counts. You can't say Juicy is lying and say Juicy is not lying for the exact same incidents, the attorney proclaimed. They're not. They're claiming he just lied. They're not saying he lied and didn't lie.
So what did he get away with? You say 5 or 6, so he obviously got away with one of them. Which bit?
I don't know which one he got away with.
Okay.
I don't care a whole lot
did
about
you?
it. But I do want to talk about what they did, because you asked a question about the district attorney.
Oh yeah, yes.
All right.
Oh, Jensen, are you keeping up with the chat?
Yeah. I know.
What's happening? I'm afraid to ask. What's happening in the chat?
Don't look, Ems. Don't look, Nomad. Don't look. It's not what you need to see.
Okay, I'm not. To be honest, I'm not looking. So because the way I have my computer set up, it makes it counterproductive to even attempt to do that.
Fair point.
So it's going to be what it's going to be. But no, the Kim Fox was the district attorney for the Cook County prosecutors. Right? She is a state district attorney.
Trooper?
Okay.
Oh, right.
Which is why, because she refused to prosecute. She wasn't gonna prosecute Juicy. Okay. That's why I went to the federals. The feds are the ones that prosecute him. So this went to federal court, and he was found guilty. And is he going to get sentenced to jail? Maybe. All right. I'll be honest with you. To some degree, I think people are supposedly surprised at this. All right. And I'm going to make a statement that I know a lot of people are going to find racially insensitive. All right, because they don't know what a race is. I can tell you right now, there were a number of African Americans that were on this jury, and people expected them to all vote for that Juicy was going to be innocent. Okay.
Well, instead they use their brains.
Possibly, but it's also very true. It's also very true. Well, within community in America, homosexuality is, you have a group that doesn't care, and you have a group that's just violently opposed to it. And I mean virulently
Most
opposed to it.
Yeah, most Black Americans, from what I've heard, and from people like the old boy, but most Black Americans don't seem to like the old bum fun.
Mm-hmm.
No, no,
Yeah.
and so it's part of that's because of the the heavy religious aspect of African Americans in
Yeah.
the country.
The other part of it is because of people like Gadzi Kodo, who you might remember as Black Hitler. You know who I mean.
I do, but I don't think that that has much of an effect on it. Really, to be honest, I think it has to do with just there are. You got to understand how people are within the country. All right, now as far as what Juicy did, let's be honest. A lot of African Americans were, in fact, I would say the majority are absolutely embarrassed by the guy. All right, they know what he did. They looked at that and said, "You made us all look bad," and so that's also a reaction to that as well. All right.
Oh yeah. Do you know what the hilarious thing about what he did is?
Well,
If two white guys wearing red MAGA hats catch him, let's say, in a dark alley somewhere, and beat him up screaming, "This is MAGA country," nobody's going to believe him at all.
dude. Okay, this is Chicago. If two people walked around wearing MAGA hats, you'd never see them again.
Well,
That place is.
Could
Am I
walk
wrong?
they could walk around them with him in their jackets, follow Mr. Smollett into a dark alley, put them on, beat him up, put them back in the jackets, walk out.
No,
is Juicy
no,
gonna
no.
walk into a dark alley anytime soon? Okay, let's
Listen
be
very,
honest.
very carefully. He may well, but the problem is you say that they wouldn't detect it, but man, this is basically one of the most liberal areas. I swear they actually have MAGA detectors as an item, and it's like they'd be walking along, be a beep, 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 and immediately they'd be attacked, and you know it.
And also have devices to catch people of that persuasion, won't they? Yeah, MAGA nets.
Well, there were a number of incidents that did happen to people that were having
Yep.
Trump bumper stickers and stuff on their cars.
Yep.
All right,
Trumper stickers.
Yep.
so those things did happen. But Juicy, let's be honest, Juicy was doing this at what gets me is, and I know this is conspiracy theory land. You can sometimes go tinfoil hat land, but he was doing this at the behest, okay, of the Dems, right? He was doing this at the behest of several groups, okay, on a political basis. He was making a political point, and like it or not, from their perspective, it worked.
Yeah.
True.
You know,
So-
if I had the money, do you know what I'd do? And it would happen every day.
I almost dread to think.
Over the skies of places like Chicago,
Hmm.
there would be a team of skywriters who every morning and every evening, in bright red smoke, would write, "Make America Great Again."
Down. But no, I agree. I also agree with Miss Murder.
Yes, I do as well.
She says he did it to get more money on his show. That is actually what I've heard. I don't know how true that is.
Probably also did it for the private compensation he could accrue.
Possibly.
Well, I think that there's an aspect of that he never thought that it would be negative for himself on the show. But I can tell you right now that his primary reason was political. All right, you don't do this without trying to engage yourself in politics, and he was engaging himself in politics. All right, when all this happened, all right, trying to play the victim. And of course, once the truth came out, then everyone, all these people like Nancy Pelosi and everybody they ran for the hills. But initially, they all came out and were using this as a political forum, and they did it immediately. They didn't say, well, let's find out what's going on, let's wait here. No, they immediately went on the attack. Okay, and this tells me it was coordinated. They didn't wait a day, they didn't wait 12 hours, all right, after this was reported. It was immediate. It was a coordinated effort. And if somebody's going to say that, oh, no, yeah, no, I know, man, it wasn't political. Yes, it was. Now, I'm not saying that was the only aspect to it, but this was strictly a political front job.
That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying, Slow Brad. Yeah, it was political, but there was these other motivators in it as well.
I can agree with that. There were other factors in it, but the main one was political. The main purpose behind this was political.
Yes, that's correct, Flowjar.
On to the next story. Because Batman has made a comment, and we're going to comment on Batman. Footprints in Spain show meat-eating dinosaurs were fast and furious. Okay. All right. Will Dunham.
Why not?
All right. Dunham. Dunham. No, okay.
Dunham.
We'll say some
Dunham.
All right. It's almost not fair. Carnivorous dinosaurs were armed with menacing teeth inside muscular jaws, wielded dangerous claws on their hands and feet, and boasted keen vision and sense of smell. And as new research confirms, they were pretty fast too. 2 trackways crustacean period fossilized footprints from about 120 million years ago, discovered in northern Spain's La Roya region. Is that how you say it? La Jolla?
Well, it's Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. Just say somewhere in foreign.
All right. Show that the medium-sized, meat-eating, or carnivorous dinosaur species that made them could run about 28 miles an hour, right, or 45 kilometers per hour. Scientists said on Thursday. This roughly matches the top speed achieved by Jamaican sprinter Usain Bolt, the world's fastest.
Right. This is bastard saying Usain Bolt's a dinosaur, are they?
Yes.
They're saying that he can outrun these dinosaurs. Okay? Now.
Hey, if there's a dinosaur chasing me, there's a good chance I could outrun it.
There's no chance that I can outrun it, but that's a separate issue.
No. I'm going to actually argue there, Nomad. I reckon you would outrun it because it'd slip over and all the crap that's following you as you pop yourself as you run away from it. And that would be 100% reasonable given the situation. If a T-Rex decided it wanted me for breakfast, I think even I would discover the ability to, I don't care what my lungs are doing, I'm running anyway.
Actually, Joe Bad, we know that you didn't have to outrun dinosaurs because when you invented skydiving, you killed them all off.
Possibly. But first of all, this is stupid. It's a stupid story. All right.
Either way, Miss Murder. Either way.
And I'm gonna be real blunt here. You can't tell how fast something's running by the footprints. All right, unless you know how tall the freaking thing is.
They could give a good estimation. They could give a rough estimation by the footprints, right?
Okay, you can do a rough estimation, but that's only true.
But they can give you a good estimation. Notice I'm using the word still using the word estimation. If you have the skeleton of the species that made the footprints to hand as well. Doesn't have to be the same animal, just the same species.
You have to know a number of other things, right? You have to know
like
whether
I said,
or not
estimation.
Well, yeah, but and I'm not saying that the dinosaurs weren't fast. Don't misunderstand me. Okay, it's this is all supposition, all right, on a lot of different factors that we won't ever know is true or not. Now, I don't have a problem with them making this story, all right, except for the fact that, is this even news? Is this new? No. No. None of it's there.
Before Jurassic Park was released.
Right. I mean, I think we kind of already had this idea for hundreds of years of how fast these things were, right? that these things were probably fast.
Nomad, talking about dinosaurs, that is something else I would do if I had a time machine. I would build fake cities all over the world, dinosaur size with dinosaur-sized cars in them. Yeah, yeah, just to fake people out to think that dinosaurs had this vast civilization.
How do you know that an advanced civilization didn't go and do the same thing? Only what they
There
did,
would
what
be
they decided
traces.
to do is they planted the dinosaur bones.
There was an advanced. Well, you mean if there was an advanced civilization on Earth before us?
Well, no. If somebody went back into the past and decided to screw with things just by planting dinosaur bones that never existed.
Because they would have had to run it by me first.
Oh, okay. See.
Yeah, that's another thing that makes me laugh. These people think there was a technologically advanced civilization before recorded history. You know, it was more advanced than ours. No, there wasn't. There would be definite traces left. I mean, long after our civilization's gone, there are going to be two layers in the geological record. Yeah, there's going to be a layer of refined metals, or the remains of refined metals, and there's going to be a layer of plastic.
Yeah.
That's something that would have happened with any form of technologically advanced civilization before us. Those layers would be there.
Well, if they use those metals, sure. Right. The question.
They still use plastics.
Well, the question would still come down to, okay, what is technology, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, they'll still use plastics. Plastics do not occur naturally.
Why would they still use plastics?
Because plastics are an integral part to an advancing technology. We wouldn't be where we are without plastics.
Only our current human technology. They may well have actually had. Oh no, it does. Actually, I'm going to disagree with you there.
Well,
Quite simply, okay. We only use plastics now because it seems to bloody well work. Prior to the existence of plastic, we invented other versions of it. Who knows that these other more advanced societies didn't actually have something? And you're saying that it's going to leave proof of plastic behind. And I'm not going to disagree with that given our current technology, but that's the point. We have been trying to actually come up with a biotech that can actually destroy plastic. Who says that this more advanced society didn't
Well, first
actually
of all,
create?
stop right there. Stop right there. First things first. All right. Number one.
Yeah.
The comments that people have made about how long plastic's going to last have been proven false. Okay?
Okay.
Plastic does not last as long as people said it does or thought that it would. Now, granted, there are ways that you can mitigate its destructiveness or the destruction.
this
of plastic.
does not help Aquaman. The amount of times he's nearly choked to death on those those rings that you hold six packs together with.
Right. The why he's trying to save the whale from the fish net. Anyway,
Whales can go to hell for all I'm concerned.
sunlight does a lot of damage to plastics very quickly.
Yeah,
Now,
it breaks it down.
Yeah, very
but
quickly.
but the byproducts are still there, and that's what leaves the residue.
Oh no, I agree with that, but
And
it
those
breaks it
byproducts
down.
do
It
not-
breaks
they're
it
not
down.
clean.
Yeah, but it breaks it down quite a bit faster. And
Yeah.
if you had plastic
Oh, yeah.
5,000 years ago, okay, you may find traces. If you had plastic 20,000 years ago, you may not. All right.
For
And
what I've heard,
then,
you
once
probably
again,
would.
that's not for all plastics. Okay. Well, but you would have to know that you were looking for it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the other issue. Now I'm not saying.
I mean,
I'm not,
it's like this idiot once going on about the pyramids on this video, and all these people agreeing pyramids were power plants and they supplied power to Egyptian cities. Oh yeah. So where are all the cables then? Because you're supplying power, you've got to have cables. You've also got to have electrical points in houses to use the fucking power. None of these have ever been found.
Well, electricity, that's true. Right? If you're using magic, all right, which we haven't discovered yet.
Because there's a good reason why you haven't discovered magic.
Oh, well,
It
what is
doesn't
it?
exist.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to put
A
it up on that
non-believer,
one.
is he?
Yeah, magic is nothing more than science that we don't understand yet. That's
Yeah,
all it is.
exactly. It's science. That means it's quantifiable. It's identifiable. Magic,
Yep.
by its very nature, is not quantifiable and is not identifiable
By what we know right now.
at all.
You go back 100 years, they would not have even considered the possibility of mobile phones. But now people carry this around all the time.
Actually, did some works of fiction. There were devices similar to mobile phones 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And if you
300 years
But
ago,
Jensen,
300
Jen-
years ago,
Jensen.
that would have been an accurate statement.
I'll accept the idea that technology sufficiently advanced will seem to primitive technology to be like magic.
Yes.
But magic, right?
Mhm.
Even if you had that technology that seemed like magic would still be unquantifiable and unidentifiable because it's fucking magic. It means that somebody with no technology on them whatsoever could do a silly dance, wave his hands about, say, "Izzy wizzy, let's get busy," and turn you into a frog. That's magic.
And they don't turn people into frogs. You obviously know that they turn them into dogs.
No, that was only one guy and he got better.
Waiting for that.
Didn't you, Jensen?
Yeah, good.
All right, time for the next story.
Hello, Mitchell.
Time for the next story. Olympics,
And hello,
skateboarding,
James.
climbing, and surfing proposed for the 2028 Games. Skateboarding,
I don't care, I'll be dead
surfing,
by then.
and you're going to be dead in 7 years?
If
I'm trying.
Okay.
Yeah, me and Jensen are racing.
Yeah.
You're in a race, are you? Okay.
Oh, we may as well be.
which made their Olympic debuts in Tokyo are slated to remain on the program in the 2028 Los Angeles Games, the International Olympic Committee said on Thursday. The IOC decided to include the youth-focused sports in a list of 28 sports to be submitted for approval in the upcoming IOC General Meeting in February in Beijing, acknowledging their popularity and success in the Tokyo Games. Did you consider the Tokyo Games a success? Did anybody even realize that the Tokyo Games even took place?
No.
Where's Tokyo?
Seriously, okay. I actually didn't realise it had happened. Was it even news?
You didn't realise it had happened because, like everything else the Japanese get their hands on, they miniaturised it and returned it and reproduced it in plastic.
Let's be
May
honest.
explain a few things.
I don't think that was the case in this regard. I think the problem was, of course, COVID, because the news was always about COVID.
Oh, COVID.
Okay. And so they delayed it by an entire year, which they never should have done. All right.
Nope.
Yeah.
And so the whole interest in the things, because it was an off time and off things, nobody really paid a whole lot of attention to it. Okay, and it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate.
That's the thing that pisses me off about all this shit. COVID had happened in the 70s. It would have been dealt with, and a year later, nobody would be talking about it.
Yep.
But for the problem that I have starts with the fact that they're thinking that skateboarding and surfing should be Olympic sports. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Okay, can Fortnite be an Olympic sport as well then?
Well, no. At least with
What about
Fortnite,
Tetris? What about Tetris?
We're not talking. Well, first of all, is that an athletic competition? No. Okay.
Not skateboarding.
Well, you could say that it takes athletic skill to do that. The problem
You stand there and the piece of wood does all the work.
Well, you've got to be balanced, right?
Okay, you stand there, don't fall down, and the piece of wood does all the work.
I don't think that's an accurate assessment necessarily, but my problem
Oh
with
yeah, and
skateboarding and my,
this rock climbing, yeah, they all cheated that. You know how many rock climbers deliberately get bitten by radioactive spiders?
I don't think that there's people being bitten by radioactive spiders, especially in the DC universe. Anyway, the problem that
What?
I have with skateboarding and surfing, all right, unlike climbing, right, is the fact that it's all subjective. You're
Yeah.
creating a subjective standard. It's the same problem that I have with diving, to be honest, as an Olympic sport. It's not that I don't appreciate the abilities being on display, but when you come back and say, well, there's no how do you score this? Well, it's all subjective on how somebody said, well, I like the way this person did a twist versus the way that person did a twist.
No, you see, this is where magic would come in handy to make the sport more entertaining. I mean, can you imagine? They're doing the diving event in the Olympics, and the high dive,
Hmm.
and some sort of bastard in the spell waits for the guy to jump off the diving board and then casts water to stone.
Oh yeah. I was thinking freeze water, but yeah, no, I'm okay with either of those. In all fairness, wouldn't that make diving awesome? If you could actually change the porter only 2 inches deep.
Yeah.
If he survives, then he gets gold medal.
Hey, you know what would be fun? Like, another thing with super science. Would it be funny if you'd given Eddie the Eagle Edwards anti-grav skis?
What's it? But if you don't have
The first
an
ski jump release
objective
in the
if you don't have an objective standard, in my opinion, it's not a sport.
Yeah. No, no,
Okay,
fair.
it's not that I don't appreciate the skill set necessary to do this, but as far as an Olympic sport, it shouldn't be in there. That applies to most gymnastics, to be honest. All right, it's not that I don't appreciate the skills in it. It's the
I'm
fact
not
that
really sure powerlifting should.
you're scoring people in
I
a subjective manner.
I don't really think that things like powerlifting or football, soccer to you, slow Brad, should be in the Olympics either.
I don't have a problem with that because that's not those are not subjective. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but they don't really seem like Olympic sports to me, if you know what I mean.
Well, they should.
Why?
I agree with you about it. Well, because there's tradition. There's an aspect of
Yeah,
trying to maintain the traditional feats of strength and speed.
but traditions are important.
Yes,
Hmm.
I
They
agree.
keep who we are.
Yes, and to some degree, I agree with that. But now, as far as climbing goes, how fast you go up a rock face. Hey, I don't have a problem with that because they got a stopwatch. Go, and the guy who gets to the top first wins.
Huh?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's pretty simple. Right. It's a speed and a power. You gotta have the strength to do it. I don't have a problem with it. But like I said, with skateboarding and everything else, is it entertainment? Yeah. Is it a sport? Not in my opinion. It's just the way It's just the way I am. Just the way I feel.
Yes, we make climbing really interesting. You get like you start going up, and after 10 seconds, you shoot whoever's at the lowest.
Oh,
You have it.
Jenson.
You're saying that you have the ability to motivate. Motivational techniques are applicable. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Exactly. We're just motivating them to climb faster. See, we're trying to help. And of course, you can actually double it up with the sharpshooting in the Olympics for double effect. You see?
I think in that case that the sharpshooting in the Olympics they should be using high explosive rounds.
Hmm.
It's all fun and games. So somebody pokes an eye out.
That just makes the game more interesting.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, mom of 48 stole daughter's identity to start college and date young guys.
It's that word. Her daughter must be a dog.
A Missouri mama all right, is facing jail time after she admitted to stealing her estranged daughter's identity in order to secure student loans, enroll in college, and pursue her sexy co-ed fantasies. Laura Oglesby, 48, posed as her daughter, Lauren Hayes, for more than 2 years in an elaborate scam that fooled both the federal government and locals of a small town of Mountain View. In 2016, Oglesby's applied for a social security card in Hayes' name, which she promptly received in the mail. From that point on, Oglesby, who originally hailed from Arkansas and was then 43, assumed her daughter's identity, saying her name was Lauren Hayes and that she was only 22 years old.
I hate to say this, but the mother's the one with the cat ears on, right?
You know, me down here, the little bunny ears things.
Yeah.
Or mouse ears, whatever. Those are mouse ears. Don't look like cat ears. All right. No, I think that's the daughter. I think it's a picture of the daughter.
No, I was on about the previous picture where she's got like the cat ear tiara on.
I take that back. That is her.
Oh God.
Yeah, she actually looks younger than the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She posted pictures of a variety of youthful-looking filters. Oh, she had a filter on her, some sort.
Yeah.
No, both of these, I think both of these are her mugshots. So this is what she.
Oh wow. Mm-hmm.
She's not she's not photohygienic. Let's put it that way, in my opinion. Okay. She's not a
That's the way of putting it.
She's not a photogenic individual, but all right, stealing somebody's identity is is wrong, and I feel sorry for her daughter because I bet money was people were like coming after her, loan officers coming after her for money, right? When it was
she knows how
her mother took out against
her. Yeah, I've got to say, Nomad, I wouldn't kick her out of bed, but that's because I would never go anywhere near her bed.
What?
Yeah, you gotta wonder about the people who she was engaging with, right? The young guys that decided to.
This college she went to, was it a blind college?
You guys aren't thinking it through, all right? Seriously now, okay? The reason the young guys actually had no problem is they were getting nooky. It doesn't matter what she looked like, because in the dark, all you can see is the back of her head. Okay?
Yeah.
It don't matter what her face is like.
Okay, but the face is not the issue. Okay? The diseases, the possible diseases are. Okay? I think the word skank applies here. Let's be honest. Okay? I know it's going to offend some people, but the word skank applies here. Who wants to bed down a skank?
A young bloke. Someone who's desperate to get his wet. Okay? You know it and I know it, mate. It don't matter what she looks like. It's called availability.
But that's how is she any more available going to college than she is not going to college? Nothing was stopping her from wandering around college. I mean,
True. Hell, you remember Camp Bunnies?
What do you mean? Remember them? He was one.
I was not a camp bunny.
That's not the rumours we've heard or tried to spread.
COVID lifts the Dutch coffee shop trade to new highs. Ha 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 ha. Okay.
Whether
it's to calm their anxiety or to ease boredom from the past 2 years, many buyers say that their consumption has increased during the pandemic. COVID has been good for us, smiles Carmelita, the boss of No Limit, who asked for her full name not to be published. Before coronavirus, the shop had 300 to 350 customers a day. She says now it's over 500. The only profession which is happy with COVID is coffee shops, she tells AFP. When the Netherlands first first lockdown in March of 2020, there were scenes of weed panic, long queues outside coffee shops, the Dutch term for the cannabis cafes. While the access to the bars, restaurants, and nightclubs has been sharply limited, coffee shops have been able to stay open, mostly for takeaway. Yeah.
Let's be fair, dude. Could you imagine how pissed off the government would be if they actually found out? And I'm not claiming that this is true, but could you imagine if they actually found out that weed was a form of cure? Oh, they'd go mental. And you know it.
Oh, they'd crush that news straight away.
Yes. Yes.
And anybody who
Probably.
knew.
But the thing is if it's curing things, can you show me who's been cured?
I don't know about cure, but at least you don't care what's happening to you after smoking it.
Well, that might be true, but you don't care about anything else either, or anyone else.
Again, win-win.
You know, these sportsmen who've been dropping dead allegedly from COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's worrying, especially when you consider that you can't actually hear a high-powered sniper rifle when it's far enough away.
I don't know what you mean.
You can't hear a high-powered sniper rifle, all right, unless it misses.
That's true.
No matter how close it is.
Yeah.
Standing beside it, you could hear the.
I would hope so.
Well, yeah, but then again, you're not worried about it if you're standing beside it while it's going off.
This is fair.
Yeah.
Standing right in front of it is what you really want to make that statement as. Yeah. But in all fairness, again, you won't hear it because you'll generally be dead before the sound of the bullet gets to you.
Yeah,
you're standing right in front of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because the bullet does travel faster than sound.
Most do. Not all, but yes, most do.
Yeah. French bullets...
It's retreating.
French bullets travel a lot slower. You can actually see them inching their way through the air.
That's because of the white flag sticking out the back. Come on, that's not fair.
Yeah. The only bullets with parachutes.
Look, I mean, I've met French troops, and I've met French Foreign Legion, and I have nothing but respect for the French Foreign Legion guys.
Yeah, well, the French Foreign Legion aren't French troops.
No, they're mercenaries.
It kind of hint in the name there. French Foreign Legion.
They're not all foreigners, and they still deserve respect. They're the only
the French Foreign Legion does, but the actual French army, yeah. These are the people that built greatest defense against the Germans ever. The Germans just walked around.
Yeah, but it was a really good defense if they'd have gone, straight ahead.
If they'd have gone like they expected instead of where they've always gone.
Yeah, that'd be the one.
I've heard military experts saying that even in World War One, if the Germans had decided, had been met with the Maginot Line and had decided to attack it, it wouldn't have lasted a couple of days.
No. Does that shock you?
It was not intended to last for a long period of
The
time.
French thought it would.
No, the whole concept behind that was
the French actually thought that the Maginot Line was going to save them. Hence their surprise when the Germans come in through the side.
Why would it? Anyway.
Because they're French.
We're not going to rehash World War II on this stream here. Not today. Maybe a different time. No, we're going to talk about the criminal charge for breaking a sink during sex.
Yes.
While being intimate with a friend, well, at least it was a friend she was intimate with, right?
Bonus. Mm-hmm.
Now, the question I have is a Florida woman broke a sink off the wall, leading to her arrest for a criminal mischief. How do you know it was her that broke it and not her paramour?
True.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Let's assume it was with a guy, right? Did they arrest the guy too?
Hmm? Actually, if you think about it, probably what they did was they checked and they found bits of sink stuck in her ass, and so they went, that we're blaming her.
Actually, I'm betting she broke it with her titties.
Ah, boob prints, gotcha.
At least that's the way it happened in my fantasy.
Okay. All right. We now understand a little bit more about Batman than we didn't care about. All right. Investigators say that
Yeah,
Catherine
right.
Trammell, 37, caused $500 in damages Tuesday during an afternoon encounter inside of a bathroom at Iris 31, an eatery in Seminole. According to the arrest affidavit,
Eatery and Seminole.
No, that's in New, isn't that New Mexico?
Seminole is a city. It's from the Seminole tribe. It's a Native American tribe here in America.
Huh?
Just well, anyway, according to the arrest affidavit, Trammell and a friend were asked to leave the restaurant after staff discovered them in a bathroom. The defendant and her friend then left the bathroom and sat at the bar, a sheriff's deputy noted. Trammell, cops allege, subsequently returned to the bathroom. It was during the second trip that the sink was damaged. After being read her rights, Trammell reportedly said her friend and herself were being intimate in the bathroom and as a result caused the sink to break. Once again, it said, while not identified in the affidavit, Trammell's friend appears to be a male. It appears to be a male.
Yeah.
Maybe a butch, lesbian. You never know. Very butch.
Yeah.
Right. However, he does not seem to, or he or she or it or whatever does not seem to have been similarly charged. I think that's because they think that
Because he wasn't jumping up and down on the sink,
well, because
shouting, "Break, you bastard, break!"
probably not. Yeah, that might have been the issue. Because they said that it was after she went to the bathroom again.
Yeah, I think it was when she turned large and green.
Can I ask a question, Batman? Why are you so obsessed with the Marvel Universe?
You've noticed that, haven't you?
See, it's not the Marvel universe; it's the crossover universe. I come from the crossover universe. The Marvel and DC coexist. So, to you,
They'll coexist together happily, living together as bestest friends.
I think it's jealousy, personally. I was just pointing it out there. I think
not really.
From the Babylon Bee, Bob Dole switches to the Democrat Party. Former Kansas Senator and presidential candidate Bob Dole has passed away at 98. That's an old man. All right. Marking his transition from lifelong Republican to reliable Democrat voter. Bob Dole was an American hero and a patriot, said DNC Chair Jamie Harrison. We are grateful for his service to the country and we welcome him to the Democrat Party as a faithful Democrat voter for the rest of time.
Yep.
That means even after he dies.
Well,
He's already dead, dude.
That's the point.
I know.
Bob Dole is survived by his wife Elizabeth, who is expected to endorse the Democrat presidential candidate in the 2032 election.
Oh, yeah.
Well, apparently Abraham Lincoln votes Democrat.
Okay, let's talk about
true.
Let's talk about Bob Dole for a moment, right? Or those who don't know, right? Bob Dole was the most powerful senator in the Senate for a long time. Okay, he was known to be very quiet. At the same time, okay, he was highly respected because he wasn't the kind of dirtbags, okay, that most of these people see. When Bob Dole left the Senate, he left Washington. He went back to Kansas. Okay? This is not somebody who was mired in that damn swamp that was there, and I give him kudos for that. Now, it might have been the fact that as a young man, he served in World War II and was severely injured. And for those who don't know anything about Bob Dole was at Anzio. All right?
One thing, is it true that he was really, really boring? See, I don't know the guy, so I'm actually genuinely asking. Is it true that this guy was actually as boring as they've suggested? I don't know.
Okay, he was not boring the way they say it was. All right, what the media was
Yeah.
able to do was play him off against the quote unquote young and vibrant and exciting.
Joe Biden.
No, Bill Clinton.
Oh.
Okay, and from that standpoint, he did suffer.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That wasn't. This was before Hillary had leached most of the life out of Bill Clinton.
It's when she was still in a parasitic larva form. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, that person you see wandering, that really decrepit looking old man you see wandering around the Clinton home, that's not actually Bill. That's their son that they never spoke about.
Well.
Yeah, Hillary's drained him as well.
But Bob Dole was a good man. He was not as boring as everyone said it was. But once again, the media were all, they had already gone into propaganda mode. The media stopped being the media during Bob or Bill Clinton's time as presidency. Okay. They turned into activists at that time, in my opinion, more than any other time.
And they probably have been activists for a long time before that as well.
Not as activistic, no. All right, they were still leftists, and they were still shading the news in their way, but they weren't outright propagandists. All right, they became outright propagandists after this.
I'm saying wait, honest is the wrong word, I suppose. But let's be fair here. The media, particularly, specifically the news outlets, should be activists, but activists for the truth.
Yes.
And the only way that they do that is to be impartial.
Well, there's no such thing as perfect impartiality, though. Come on.
No, but you can strive for it.
Yes, you can, and it's important to strive for it. I agree with you.
Yep.
But after Bill Clinton, they threw that whole moniker away. They were not even trying anymore.
Oh, you might be pleased to know that I perfected my time machine, and when I use it, I will be going back with the detailed history of how the American War of Independence proceeded, so that this time we can win.
I don't think it's going to go the way you think it will.
It will, because I'm taking modern weapons back with me.
So if you're going to take anything back, mate, seriously now, don't bother with weapons. Seriously, I'm not joking. Get rid of them. You take back penicillin, antibiotics, and radios. Okay?
Oh yeah, taking all them back as well, because
it.
I'm also taking infected blankets to dish out to hand out to the American troops.
We've done that. I think they know that. Oh no, actually, I didn't know that trick back then, did they?
I think you have to. First of all, what British troops? I mean, you're basically using Germans. And you're gonna hand, and your plan was to hand the Germans modern weaponry back in the 1700s.
Hold on, second of all, what American troops? You were basically using French.
That and the fact they were English at the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it was a civil war because even after the dust had settled, your side had won. They still considered themselves English
for a while.
Yeah, for at least a generation. So it was, in fact, a civil war.
No, they did not consider themselves English, and not for a generation. No, they didn't, and not for a generation afterwards. Or you wouldn't have had the War of 1812.
We still have wars nowadays between other English people. Well, let's face it, MC thinks that as soon as they land on Plymouth Rock, they started sporting cowboy hats and inverted sunglasses.
They were not sporting cowboy hats. WikiLeaks founder Assange one step closer to extradition to the United States. Oh boy, this
But
is
still say it's Peter Ustinov.
WikiLeaks' Julian Assange on Friday moved a step closer to facing criminal charges in the United States for breaking spying laws and conspiring to hack government computers after Washington won an appeal over his extradition in an English court. U.S. authorities accuse Australian-born Assange, 58, of 18 counts relating to WikiLeaks' release of vast troves of confidential U.S. military records and diplomatic cables, which they said put lives in danger. His supporters cast Assange as an anti-establishment hero who has been victimized by the United States for exposing U.S. wrongdoing in Afghanistan and Iraq. The United States won an appeal against a ruling by a London district judge, that Assange could not be extradited because he would likely commit suicide in a U.S. prison. Right now, Julian Assange is still being held in a British Belmarsh prison, right?
Yep.
He is still under maximum security, right? They only allow him, to see his lawyer and nobody else, right?
Yeah, but you know what? And I'm not actually joking. You know why? It's because they're monitoring him, to make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. That's actually why.
Why don't they release him?
I agree.
Yeah.
Seriously, 100%. I agree. Release the dude. Quite simply, why should we have to pay for this moron? You lot should have him. That way you got to pay from him.
Well,
Go on.
I have no problem with the
I agree.
extradition in and of itself. All right, I do have a problem and so forth, but there's no reason for him to be in Belmarsh prison for 2 years awaiting extradition. I mean, he could await extradition anywhere with an ankle bracelet. And it's a damn sight cheaper to keep an ankle bracelet than anything else. Now, is he a flight risk? Of course he is, because he's an ass. All right? But at the same time, keeping somebody in prison when you don't have a crime against him, and that's true. He's not being charged with a crime. And in the U.S. law, I can tell you right now, this is going to go nowhere if he ever gets here, right? And I'll tell you why. Because the Constitution, all right, allows for the activities of a speedy trial. This is hardly conducive to a speedy trial where he was kept incarcerated.
No.
Okay.
There might be a reason why he's been incarcerated in a British prison. Maybe somebody on the other side of the Atlantic asked our government to do so. This sort of thing is not unheard of.
Apparently, no.
I didn't say officially.
Good point.
This sort of thing is not unheard of.
I understand. Well, it's unheard of that you're in there for 2 years fighting extradition. I've never seen that. No, it isn't. I've never seen that. Not while you're still in prison.
I bet you if you looked into it, it's not unheard of. Personally, I think they should strip him of his British citizenship and kick him out the country.
He's not British, is he?
No, he's Australian.
Yeah, I think he's an Aussie.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
I think they should. I think they should just kick him out the country. Tell him to go away.
I don't know what citizen. What he's now considered as a citizen. Right? Who's given him? To be honest.
Well, his Australian citizenship has not been revoked, so I would assume Australian.
Not a clue.
I don't know. I thought that he had changed citizenship though. For a while there, I thought he had
Ecuadorian.
Well, yeah, Ecuadorian, exactly. I think he did apply for Ecuadorian citizenship. So I don't know if they granted it or if they've repealed it or what the status of that is. But the fact that the guy is still in prison is the problem. It's one thing to sit there and fight extradition and being held while extradition proceedings are happening, right? I can understand that. But at the same time,
I mean,
it becomes a point of being overly excessive. You know what I mean?
it would have been made more sense, both financially and security-wise, like you're saying, Nomad, to fit him with a bracelet and keep him under house arrest.
Yeah, and there's no reason why he
Yeah,
needed.
I've trained marksmen outside of his front and back door.
And so, what's going to happen when he gets here to the United States, though, is I guarantee you, one of the things they're going to bring up is the fact that he was held in prison for during this whole time. All right, and they're going to say,
Yeah.
okay, his rights have been violated. We have to let him go. We can't continue to prosecute the case. That's what's going to happen.
Well,
If I was a lawyer, that's what I would be pushing.
That's what the defence will say, but the prosecution will say, yeah, but it wasn't the American government that did that. Therefore, he can still be tried under American law.
No, he can be tried. That is an accurate reading of this. But in this case, it would be very hard to continue with the activities. It really would, especially considering.
It depends how badly the American government want him.
Yeah.
Well, once
I
again,
mean, to be perfectly honest, if I was the American government, I'd just say, fuck it.
Yeah.
well, see, that's because you're not an American. Okay. See,
This makes me smile.
all right. If you were an American and you were trying to do this at this point, all right, Assange's life.
The horrible thing is, if I was
never
American, I'd probably be a lefty.
Assange never would have made it out of freaking Sweden. Okay.
Let's face it. If either me or Jenson were Americans, we'd probably be lefties by now.
No, nothing would ever get me to turn that way.
Most Americans.
Oof, that's harsh.
Most Americans.
Yeah, yes, I was joking. I take it back.
Good. I'd never be one of those creatures.
You'll never be a hippie.
No.
That's only because he's a ginger. His hair doesn't grow that long.
Brain adult pot smoking hippie.
Yeah.
No, he's a
do
brain
brain
adult.
adult and pot smoking. I don't have to be a hippie.
Yeah, he couldn't get away with one of those tasseled vests.
Somebody needs this next story. Somebody needs to send to Omega. All right, as Americans ruin everything food story. Massachusetts company cooks world's largest pot brownie.
It's a blackie.
A marijuana dispensary in
They
Massachusetts
burned it.
cooked what is claims to be the world's largest cannabis-infused brownie, a 850-pound THC treat. Mari Med, based in Norwood.
Hold on, MC. Because apparently this company is also hiring on extra security to keep memes away from it.
It might explain why we haven't seen memes in a while. All right, Mary Med, all right, based in Norwood, celebrated the launch of its new brand, Bubby's Baked, by cooking the brownie infused with 20,000 milligrams of THC, the primary psychoactive ingredient in marijuana. The brownie measures 3 feet long on each side and 15 inches high, and dwarfs the Guinness World Record holder for largest brownie, a 234-pounder made by Alabama's Something Sweet Bake Shop in 2013. But MaryMed said the record-keeping agency told the company its brownie would not be considered. It's a weed brownie.
It's not just that. It's not a brownie. It's a burnie. It's burnt.
It's just overly dark chocolate. I keep telling you this.
It's not. It's burnt. We keep telling you this.
It's not burned.
Jenson,
Okay.
it's burned, isn't it?
It is. We've told you, Nomad, okay? We've shown you pictures of what brownies are meant to be. It's a subtle clue. It's in the name. It's called brown. Not black with mouldy bits, as it shows in the picture.
It's not
It
blacky
is.
with moldy.
It's either moldy bits or there's been pigeons flying over it.
Yeah.
There's no. I don't know if there's been pigeons flying over it. It is Massachusetts, but that's a separate issue. Okay. Right. This is not an overly. This is just a dark chocolate brownie. Okay. That's all.
We've shown you dark chocolate brownies. They're not black.
This is
If you
not.
went for dark chocolate ones specifically, there is actually paler.
If you took a look at the brownies that you showed, okay, if you look inside, the inside was all like this. Now, it
Not
had
like
a
that.
light
Like
brown.
that.
It had a light brown outer coating, but the inside looked just like that. Yes, it did.
No, it
Oh,
didn't.
come on, dude. No, they were no... We wish that they were that dark. Look at it. That's halfway decent brown.
I'm looking at
Yeah.
it right now.
Yeah.
It's dark brown.
It is. It is not dark. It is not dark brown. If you take a look at this, hold on a second. I'm gonna bring this up.
By the way, Matt Barkley's got it right. It's called a brownie of colour.
Yeah.
All right. If you look inside of here,
We did.
that
I
is
just
the
looked.
same color as
It's not.
that. Yes, it is.
It's not the. No.
The text,
Only in your mad little
the te-
chicken brain.
the texture might be a bit different, but the color is the same.
No, it's not.
Yes,
One's brown. One's brown. The other one looks like it's been burned.
And what you showed wasn't a brownie. What you showed was a cookie.
No, it was a brownie.
It's a cookie. All right.
It's a brownie.
I think you had a bite of this before you came on the show. I really did.
I think you had a bite before you were born.
I think that'd be really kind of cool, actually. Could you imagine that brownie cut up, whipped cream? Yeah, it's got to be at least 10, 15 gallons of whipped cream on top that size. Oh, that would be so cool. Oh, shit, I said that out loud. Whoops.
Yes, you did.
This is Jenson's dream.
Yeah, but for someone,
you know what Jenson was planning to do with this, right? He's planning to create this thing, right? And
Yeah.
and then put the whipped topping that he's talking about on it right there, and then
but the
gather
one Jensen
people
created
around
wouldn't be burned.
and gather people around to take a bite or two, right? So that they could be laying on the street and he can collect them like freaking cards.
Well,
You think I'm getting them properly stoned. It's called munchies for a reason.
Yeah, don't be silly, Nomad. What he's planning to do is you're right in a way, but as soon as they bite into it, they'll realise that it's also full of super glue. So they won't be able to escape.
Mm-hmm.
The plots that these two get into.
I'm not getting involved in it. I just know how his mind works. On
From
2
Jim.
AA puppies.
The one thing I
From
would have
Jim.
is-
Yeah.
You see what he's put? I definitely think I'm more involved breakfast now. Yeah, I'll bet you bloody are after seeing that.
No,
Just looking at it gives you the munchies.
It does.
I have to say something about that, which is if you look at that, if you had to bake something like that, right, you can't bake it at the normal temperature because the outside is going to burn, right?
It did.
Not saying a word.
It did not burn.
Hey, Nomad, can I ask you a question?
You're going to ask it anyway. Go ahead.
Do you wear spectacles?
Do I wear spectacles? Yes, I do wear spectacles.
Get a better prescription.
You should have gone Specsavers, that's the problem.
Yeah.
On that.
He would have had to get on a ship to do that.
On that
Or a
note,
plane.
PETA calls for Major League Baseball to rename bats as the name is offensive to nocturnal flying animals.
The horrible thing
Babylon
is,
Bee.
again, the horrible thing is it really parody?
No.
People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, which has assured, which we are assured is a real organization and not satirical, has called upon the Major League Baseball to change the name of the wooden sticks, players hit the ball with, from bats to something else, as the name is very offensive to small flying nocturnal animals. This call to action comes on the heels of PETA complaining about the name bullpen, all right, demanding to be changed to arm barn, all right, which which sounds like a store where you buy a high quality prosthetic limbs. Arm barn.
All right.
If you had something, Jensen, and somebody said, yeah, just going down to the arm barn. What do you think they'd be selling there?
I have to admit, the name does kind of give it away as arms. Subtle clue. I can't really disagree with you there, mate.
I would say something that if you rearrange the words into an anagram, you would get GNU.
Well, instead of doing all that, as soon as I saw arm barn, the first thing that came to mind was high-powered weaponry.
Yeah.
Right?
Hence the anagram.
Not high
GNUs.
quality prosthetic limbs.
They could actually be looking at prosthetic arms with guns in them. We've all seen Cyberpunk. Just saying.
Or just prosthetic limbs that use super strength.
These hateful players
True.
swing these bats and bash them into flying white balls at a high rate of speed, said the PETA spokesman. Hal Zinder Popsky.
And what you're saying is the balls are racist because they're white. Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, it means
White
that they're doing the right
supremacist
thing because
balls.
you're beating the white balls, right? You're beating the white out of them, right? What
Yeah.
kind of message do you think this sends? I'll tell you what kind of message it sends. It says it's okay to beat bats, all right? Which is probably a huge problem. Maybe you beat bats. The bats are doing the beating, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely on Jim McIntosh's side with what you just said.
Yep.
What did he say?
Can we
He
deport PETA to people to China or maybe North Korea? I completely agree, and I utterly support that suggestion.
I think they should be putting a slow iceberg to Antarctica.
I'm all for keeping them in the United States in the Alaska wilderness, naked.
What the Alaskans? You?
Well, I mean, bears need the weed hippie. I mean,
What a bears took to you?
Actually, oh my God, that's
They
what that
allowed
brown
them-
is for. It's
they allowed them to live. That's what they've done.
The thing about Peter is they have been repeatedly found out to be incredible
idiots.
cruel animals.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're PETA people are not.
There's one I saw, which because I didn't really know much about Peter until I know Peter got on about it until I didn't know about it until I saw a video, one of those short videos on Twitter. This Peter operative trying to steal this homeless person's dog.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're not. They're radicals. A lot of them are.
They're monsters.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
good morning, Susan.
Good morning. On that note,
They're not radicals, they're monsters.
well, they could be space aliens.
Matt has no, guys. Matt has actually sorted out a ad for Al's arm barn. I think his idea is perfect. Come on down to Big Al's arm barn. We got finger pistols, chest rockets, anything else you would need. Lowest price guaranteed. You know what? I totally support that. Nice one, Matt.
See?
Just see Jenson going down there and coming out in a fully loaded mecha.
I would like to do that if I could. If someone could
You
give me a
couldn't
Gundam, I
fit
would
in a
love to have a
mecha.
Gundam. All right. Aliens may have already visited Earth,
no.
says a bombshell NASA report reveals as the Pentagon ramps up to hunt for UFOs.
Damn it! They found out about me.
All right, let's face it, Nomad. You couldn't fit the Death Star. That's if you hollowed it out.
Aliens may have already visited Earth, according to a jaw-dropping report by NASA, which says the organization is not closed to the possibility of extraterrestrial life exists. That's a far statement from aliens that may already visit Earth.
I wonder
Yeah.
what the actual comment is that they're wildly distorting out of all recognition.
Well, what they're saying is that they're searching for life on other planets, and then of course
I'm not
they
saying it's
show,
aliens.
And then, of course, they're showing the footage of what they claim to be UFOs on these on this footage
Yeah.
from the Navy, which they are UFOs in the fact that they're unidentified. All right,
Yeah,
that
and
doesn't
they're
mean they're
objects, and that's why.
aliens. You know, that's
No,
No.
it means that there's probably a supremely logical explanation, which, yeah, they just haven't come across like that. The one that they keep going on about, what is it, the Black Knight satellite.
Oh yeah.
I mean, NASA, the Russians, the people on the ISS, even the fucking Chinese have commented there that it's a piece of space debris. It's basically a a bag that was used to protect a piece of paneling or something that's just escaped.
Definitely aliens then. Okay.
I wonder how long it's going to
Yeah,
take before
the
somebody.
aliens being aliens from Earth.
Yeah, that's the ones.
Does anybody ever think that maybe Elon Musk's whole idea of entering space with the space race was just
So he
not
can
to
get
put up
home.
satellites and or anything else, but to go out there and act like a giant,
No, it's so he can
junk
go home.
service. Go out there and
No,
be a junk drive.
no,
Go out there and
no,
collect space debris.
no. It's because he wants to go home.
I'm just going to remind you, okay, when Trump was in charge, he was known as the God Emperor. There is a reason. Just saying.
The God Emperor turned into a
That-
worm.
actually,
Actually kind of
The
anyway.
Still
the
fits.
thing about space junk really is a problem.
Yeah, he's.
No, that's my point. You go out there and start collecting space, or junk in space, and
Yeah.
everyone would be happy. And if you capture a few
Yeah.
extra spy satellites on your way by, well,
All
bonus.
we need to get rid of the space junk is to put Tess Holiday in a magnetic suit and send her into orbit.
We can't afford to send something that heavy into space. What are you talking about?
Sorry, we put Tess Holiday in a magnetic suit and send the Earth into orbit round her.
That's better. Thank you. Get it right.
Yeah, but that would make us closer and further from the sun at the same time. That would be a bad thing. Right?
Yeah, and besides, I don't think we've got a rocket powerful enough to escape Tess Holiday's gravity.
That might be a problem. That might be an additional problem. All right, final story of the day. All right, cops side of meth serves at Waffle House. Now this guy does look like a meth head. You look at the eyes. Right? This picture does. When you think of meth head, this is the kind of picture that comes to mind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Two of America's most beloved brands, Waffle House and methamphetamine, are at the center of a new criminal prosecution in Tennessee, criminal records show. Investigators allege that Anthony James Silcox, a 31-year-old cook, sold meth from a Waffle House in Caryville, a town 30 miles from Knoxville. Cops, search warrant in hand, raided the Waffle House Friday afternoon and arrested Silcox, pictured at the right, while he was standing at the grill. A search of Silcox yielded 3.3 grams of a crystal-like substance believed to be meth, as well as drug paraphernalia, according to the complaint affidavit. During the police interview, Silcox reportedly admitted to selling meth from the Waffle House, but said he does not sell methamphetamine every day, but has sold methamphetamines several times in the past. So it's like a special menu item.
Yeah.
It's not on the daily menu.
Why? Yeah, I'm standing there getting his mugshot taken. Why does he have this look of, oh, here we go again?
Puzzling. You can. I know. Actually, I agree completely with Batman. I looked at that, and it was very much a case of what on his face. It really was. Wow.
Why have you
Glad
got
someone
to
else saw
photo again? I mean, I was here last week.
Mm-hmm.
That look on that face does not say that to me. That look on that face is, this guy's pissed that they have his drugs and they took it away. Okay?
Well,
that's the face. That's the face of somebody that's looking at going, you just took away my dope and I'm not going to get it back. You sons of bitches. That's what that look
I'm
is.
actually okay with that. Yeah.
No. That's the look of a guy who goes, those drug cops took my drugs. Now they're going to charge me double to get them back.
Yeah,
Also fair.
that's also a good statement. Good point. Let's see.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, in the US and in the UK as well, how many the drug cops from the drug squads have actually been caught selling the fucking things?
Yeah. Look at that. That is a guy. I'm
Yeah.
like, he is pissed.
No.
They
He's
got his
pissed.
dope.
He's pissed because he's here again.
Well, they're stealing his dope again. Okay, yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. We ain't partners, we ain't brothers, we ain't friends. And
Yeah.
sooner or later, you're going to be sorry you ever met me.
I'm sorry you're a competitor with my own dope.
Fair.
But meth is a hell of a drug. Now, this guy's near Knoxville, south of Knoxville. This is what they call the tri-state area of Tennessee. Right?
My
it's
estimation of
Appalachia.
Susan Anderson has just gone up.
Oh.
Bit of Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's everything I've got. So, Jensen.
Okay.
Unless you have something else you wish to speak about.
No, I do. One last thing I want to say, that tomorrow at 3 p.m. EST, we will be doing the wake for Mad Dodge on Banter Rants and Bullshit channel. I do hope people can come and watch. If they can't, I totally understand, but hey, it's Dodge. He deserves people to turn up and say hey.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say, mate.
No, okay. My plan is to be there. Hopefully, everything works out well.
Likewise. I just want to be. There's two reasons I want to be there. Dodge and Cabby. Good lads. Deserve a send off, but the people will be there that I'll be able to insult. I mean, come on.
You don't get enough of, you don't get enough of insulting me on a daily basis?
Not really, no.
Fair point. All right, then. Well, if that is all, thank you very much for coming out, the pair of you, and thank you very much for coming and listening, people. I'll see you later. And more to the point, I'll see you on Dodgy's Wake stream. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you can go away now, it's over. Go on, sod off.